Part of South Africa's Divorce Act is unconstitutional. That's according to a recent ruling by the High Court in Pretoria. It found the section dealing with the distribution of assets discriminated against women. What doesn't in this country? Well, let's find out what this means from Shani van Niekerk. She's a senior associate from Adams and Adams. A very good morning to you, Shani, and thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about that one specific section that is inconsistent with the Constitutional Court. What is it, and what is it supposed to say?
So Section 7.3 of the Divorce Act used to say that only if you were married before the Matrimonial Property Act was enacted, which is the 1st of November 1984, you would be entitled to a redistribution claim. Now, the application that dealt before the court, it was argued that the limitation of when you were married, that before 1 November 1984, is unconstitutional since it discriminates between people married before the Act and after the Act. The matter was successful, and the court has now found that that sentence should be severed from the Act, which means that now any party married out of community of property without the accrual is now entitled to claim a redistribution claim.
So, I want to get married to Faith Mangope. What do we call it? Prenup. What does the prenup then now mean today as per this particular ruling? Because obviously a lot of people want to marry prenup because they want to protect that which they are coming into the marriage with. So where does the protection go in terms of the assets that which I bring into the union?
So I think it's important to remember that there are three ways to get married. First, it's in community of property, where we share everything. Yours is mine and mine is yours. We share everything. Then we get out of community of property with the accrual. With the accrual system, you can have starting values, and then whatever you make during the course of the marriage, that you share. The third option is out of community of property without the accrual, which means what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours. And this is what this matter, this application in court case has changed significantly. It's this last category, married out of community without the accrual. What's mine is mine and what's yours is yours no longer exists. Because if you are married in that way, the court can, after a few years, make a redistribution. So if you ask me what is the best way to get married now to protect your assets if you do not want to share, it's probably an antenuptial contract with the accrual with various exclusions.
Shani, some people might say the best way to protect what is yours is to just not get married. I mean, Shani, how did we get here? How did we get to a point where a law is about to be changed? Who did what, and who got it right or who got it wrong?
You know, there are various, when this matter dealt before the court, a various of factors were considered, both pro the application and against the application. Now, the applicant was represented by a firm in Johannesburg, and they argued that it's discriminatory against these, especially women, that should you be in a 30-year-long marriage, you have contributed through the 30 years, now you walk out of this marriage with nothing. The inequities and the injustifications were just quite frankly there.
The men are probably going to ask, I mean, do I not have rights? Not all men are trying to walk out of marriages, 30-year-long marriages, 20-year-long marriages, even 5-year-long marriages, with everything they walked into those marriages with, or whatever it is they may have gained in those marriages. Some men are just saying, she didn't do anything for me, so why must I give her anything? Where do the men's rights come in, if at all?
So, firstly, I think it should be kept in mind that this matter will not only be for women. I have clients, male clients, that are married to their spouses out of community of property without the accrual, where they decided to place all of the assets in the woman's name. And suddenly, when the parties get divorced, everything is registered in the wife's name and the husband has nothing in his name. So this act will also assist that man, that individual. However, it is true that more women would be prejudiced by these before the enactment, before this new act. It is so that more women find themselves in these positions. But it's still up to a man. He can also go to a court and prove that this woman did not support me through the marriage. She did not do what is expected of her. She did not contribute towards the growth of my estate. And as much as the wife will have to bring her evidence and testify, the man would have to do the same. And it would
This is messed up. This is a whole new degree of messed up. Fine. Now they're not even allowing people, men in particular, to do prenuptial agreements. Fine. Okay. Let me put my beliefs on the table. I believe that if you're getting married, it should be a thing whereby you're saying, okay, we're coming in, we are becoming one, so the assets uh should be coming together. What you brought into the relationship now becomes a you guys thing. uh and your partner brought into the relationship becomes a you guys thing, and then when you leave, you go halvesies with that person, because you marrying that person, you felt like they were a valuable person who was equal to you. It wouldn't make sense for you to marry a life partner who you thought was less than you. Okay, that's my personal belief. But putting that aside, um with this new law, you're no longer allowed to say, okay, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. And I find that to be messed up, because you guys have that agreement because of whatever dynamics are in your relationship or your marriage. It's very messy now with the low marriage rates. This is just incentivizing men to stay away from marriages even more. I'd find a lot of people back when I was in school saying that, okay, fine, divorces, both men saying fine, divorces are messed up, and all of that, but it's because most people don't have the courage to sign prenuptial agreements prior to getting married, because they think they'll get asked by the wives, but you're already expecting this to fail. So like, it was a decision that you were taking as a man. You were given the option to protect your assets. Yes, it would be much more difficult because of social pressure, but it wouldn't be impossible under the law. Now, currently, it looks like it's going to be impossible for you to actually get married with a financially risky person if you are well off. So the best advice I'd give to people is marry someone within your tax bracket. Uh, but then again, for some people, what they value is, okay, I have my finances. Um, I just want something physical from a wife. I don't expect any emotional things. I don't expect whatever, any of the things that she has to bring to the table. I don't mind. I just want to see my wife twice a year, twice a month, and then that's it. That person is still entitled to a substantial amount of what you have. And with regards to what she said, where she was like, you just have to go and prove that she didn't contribute anything to your life or your marriage or whatnot. Do you guys know how difficult it is to prove a negative? That's why we don't have guilty until proven innocent. That's why it's almost impossible for you to prove that you are not something, or or someone hasn't done anything. That's why it's legally it's always advisable for the law to be leaning on innocent until proven guilty, and then you have to prove that someone did something in order for them to go to jail, and the person isn't arrested, and then they have to prove why they are innocent. Ish. Yeah, it's going to be a tense for men who actually want to get married and do right by their families and whatnot. Because yeah, man, the marriage brings dignity and honor to both parties, but as time goes by, it's becoming more and more financially untenable for men to put themselves in such situations. Yes, as she said, women are in increasingly um, in better off, being better off. It's not just a situation whereby the guy is just giving funds to the woman, and then they get divorced, and then the funds are in the woman's name. Nowadays, especially with the younger generation, women are more educated than men, and will probably get higher paying jobs, and will be more financially well off. But with that, even with that, uh, they will be getting screwed over by the laws too, if someone is just not. Because guys, well, there's the rosy aspect in marriage. There's people who get married for rosy reasons, for love. Your partner adds to your cup, you add to your partner's cup. You're both overflowing. It's beautiful. But some people just want utility from their marriages. Some people just want children. Okay, I want someone who has a good head on their shoulder. I want to have children with them, and then we can grow a family. I'm not necessarily looking for love, for attachment, for any of that. I'm fine. I'm emotionally fine by myself. Some people are looking at it as a sexual play, but no, I just want someone who I can get sexual pleasure from on a consistent basis. Some people are looking for emotional support, but I just want someone who can support me emotionally and be my personal therapist. With things with relationships being that complicated, I don't think intrusive laws should be easily accepted by the public, or should, because now it's just infringing on the options that we get to have in our own relationships, and I think that's kind of messed up. uh but if you have different thoughts, let me know what you think in the comment section, and subscribe if you might.